Hello, everybody, and welcome to IC Markets Market Commentary. My name is Tamar Mehr from Trade with Precision. So, disappointing sales outlook from Broadcom saw unwinding of AI bets on Friday. That sent US stock index market lower. And I want to start here with the chart of the Nasdaq, and this is the daily chart. And as we can see, we tried to break 3 times this level of 25,800, but found it as resistance. And on Friday, we sold off and found support at the 25,200. Now, if we'll take a look here on the higher time frame, we could see that if and when the market will break the low of last week candle, this will confirm this area as the lower high on the weekly chart. And if we'll have a look here on the monthly chart, we can see that the monthly is still very overextended, meaning there is quite a distance between where price action sits right now and the moving averages. The monthly chart could still pull back quite a lot and still be in an uptrend. That would mean a potential change of direction on the lower time frame. So for potential trading opportunities on the Nasdaq to the downside, what I'd like to see is compressions of price above the 25,200. So far, we moved quite a lot from the high to this level. I'd like to see a lower high and another touch and potentially another lower high and another touch at that level before looking for a break through that area. However, if we'll see accumulations of buyers around this area, what I'd like to see first for a potential long opportunity is a push higher, a test of these previous levels and the touches around the 25,400, a pullback lower, making a higher low, and then I'll be looking for a continuation of the overall higher time frame move. So on the Nasdaq, I'm looking for lower time frame opportunities, and all of that depends on how the market will react to the level of 25,200. Now, in contrast to that, on the Dow, I want to start here with a weekly chart. And as we can see on the weekly, the Dow is still in an uptrend, making clear series of higher highs and higher lows. We also broke here into a new higher high. We can see that the moving average is 10, 20, 50, all fanning, all in the correct order for an uptrend. And we are flat here on the momentum indicators. Now, we had a bit of a pullback toward the buy zone. We could pull back a little bit more, but we have released some of the strong buying pressure. However, on the monthly, it's a similar picture. We are very overextended. So if we drill down into the daily chart, what I'm looking for on the daily is short pullback into the averages and then a continuation of the move. Because as we can see, the daily is also in an uptrend with moving averages 10, 20, 50 fanning and in the correct order, and very nice convergence here on the momentum indicators. Now, what I'd like to do on this chart is add the Fibonacci retracement. So from the low to the high, and what we can see is that this previous swing high is clustering quite nicely with a 61.8% retracement. And if we'll take a closer look, we can see that this is also in and around a round number of 48,000. We can see the previous touches at that level here as well. So if and when the market will pull back into that area, I'll be looking for signs that the buyers are coming back into the market, such as a bullish candle in this buy zone, and I'll be looking for a continuation of this move. Lastly, I want to take a look at the chart of silver, and here on the monthly chart we can see the very strong bullish momentum on silver, we can see we are very overextended. This is a big distance between where price action sits right now and the moving averages. So let's drill down into the weekly chart. And on the weekly, once again, we are quite overextended. So what I'm looking for in this case is either a pullback in the context of the weekly, so looking for a pullback into the averages on the weekly chart and to a level that we can see is quite nice here on the weekly. We've got two touches at that area, or a shallower pullback on the daily. So first, let's start with a setup on the weekly. So what I'd like to do is also add the Fibonacci retracement to this move. So from the swing higher low to the latest higher high. And what we can see is that we've got this level of around 54.50 clustering quite nicely with a 50% retracement. And if and when the market will pull back into that area, it will also be closer to the averages, so releasing some of this very strong buying pressure. If, however, we will get a more shallow pullback, so a pullback to the averages in the context of the daily, the level that I'm looking at is the 59.20. We can see it's the previous swing high, and we also had a bit of consolidation at that area before breaking higher. So you can see we made another higher high and currently pulling back. So I want to see a bit more of this pullback for the market to come back into the averages. Now here too, I'd like to add the Fibonacci retracement. So from the low to the high, and we can see that here we've got the 61.8% retracement clustering with this level. And once again, if and when the market will pull back into that area, it will also bring us into the averages, so releasing some of the buying pressure on this time frame. But all of that keeping in mind that the higher time frame is still very overextended. Happy trading, everyone. Bye for now.